Ladies and gentlemen, Hex community of all ages, hey, Jake Freedom here, coming to you live from YouTube for some Armies of Myth spoilers. Well, I'm not spoiling them, they're just cards I've come across today in the past couple days that I'm like, hey, I haven't seen these cards yet, we need to talk about them. So let's go ahead and get started right at that. And the first one we're going to talk about here is Mind Rake. Some of you probably have seen these, some of you probably haven't seen these cards. Like I said, I come across some of these, there's spoilers all over, and it's just hard to come to one spot to try to find them all. So Mind Rake here is a 5 casting cost, 1 blood threshold, and it's a basic action. It is rare, and its card text says choose target troop you control for each opposing champion. Discard a card for each troop you control that shares a trait with the chosen troop. I don't know. Some of these cards right at first, it's kind of like, yeah, they're not that great, but, you know, 5 cost, each opposing champion discards a card for each troop. You know, I could see this, you know, oh, let's see here, necrotic, you know, I think, or not, no, it's got to control a trait. No, that would be right. You can, like, necrotic, or Benin, or humans, or warriors, or orcs. I mean, this could really go with anything, and you might be able to get, you know, a lot of cards out of the opposing player's hand with this. Will it see constructed play, or I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Pretty decent card though. Not bad for what it can do, what it has the potential to do. You'd really have to have at least, I would say at the minimum, probably 3 troops that share the same trait to get any benefit out of this. Maybe 2 would be at the minimum. Anything more than that's just going to be a bonus. The next one that we're going to talk about is Duplicitous Duke. 4 casting cost, 2 ruby threshold. He is a necrotic warlock. He's a troop. His card text is basic ability, a 1-shot for 1 resource. You can shift, and if you're unfamiliar with the shift keyword, basically it's shifting card text from one card to another. It says at the start of your combat phase, this gets must attack. Create a copy of this, put it into play. The created card gets speed, and at the end of combat phase, void this. So basically, you take this and you create a copy of it, and you put it into play. It gets speed, and then you void at the end of your turn. The shift keyword is still kind of, I'd have to see it in use. I'm still not quite exactly sure how that's going to work. I mean, what are we going to shift? Are we going to shift? Are we shifting this ability? Are we going to shift another ability? I'm not quite exactly sure. Maybe some of you guys know a little bit more about shift. I know they had an article in one of the updates about it, but it didn't seem like it really explained it all that well, but I could be wrong. Maybe I have to go back and reread that. Next one here is Gorecaster. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Gorecaster. 7 casting cost, 2 ruby threshold, an orc mage troop as well. It is rare. It's got flight. It is a 4/6. When a champion is dealt non-combat damage, create a Scarlet Raider for each damage dealt and put them into play. So non-combat damage, that would be anything that, like a burn would be damaged, terrible transfer, burn to the ground, rage fire, Fang of the Mountain Gods, you know, Claw of the Mountain Gods. Those guys would be non-combat damage there. And you can see this would probably synergize pretty good with some of those Fang of the Mountain Gods, Claw of the Mountain God cards. Being that it's 7 casting cost, so it's going to be real late game. So I don't think you're going to get too many Scarlet Raiders. But you never know. I mean, if you can get it out sooner than that, which is very possible. There's so many ways to pump your resources up. You know, Crimson Clarity, depending on what colors you're in, you can use Crimson Clarity and Hex Engine, you know. So you definitely could get them out before 7. Not exactly sure right now how soon you can get them out, but so not a bad card at all. It's got flight. It creates things. You know, it's a 4/6, so it's kind of right on par, I guess. Next card here, we got Tribal Warfare, 5 casting cost, 1 ruby threshold, quick action, is a rare again. A lot of the cards that have been spoiled have been rares and legendaries, very few commons and uncommons. Anyway, like I said, quick action. Target troop you control and all troops you control that share a trait with it gets exhaust. This deals damage equal to its attack to another target troop this turn. I like this card a lot. Very aggressive card. You know, depending on what you have out on the board, I mean, this isn't a bad card at all. I mean, very good. I would say, well, maybe not very good, but it's removal at that, and you know, I think. Oh man, let's see here. 5 casting costs. You can get this out. Yeah, I think, you know, personally, I think this is a good card. This is definitely playable, not only in sealed and draft, but I think this definitely sees some constructed play for sure. See what else we got here. We've all know about Boomsmith, Ghost Feather. If you've been following the forums at all, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. They did kind of a puzzle reveal, and they revealed the Spirit Bird or the Spirit Eagle, and it is a token card that comes from Ghost Feather. Ghost Feather is a 3 casting cost, 1 diamond threshold, 2/2 troop Coyote Warlock. He has Prophecy, and that reads, when this enters play, the next troop in your deck gets. When this enters play, you may transform another target troop you control into a Spirit Eagle. What is a Spirit Eagle, you ask? Well, let's take a look. Here is the Spirit Eagle. 4 casting costs, which is kind of irrelevant. Double diamond threshold. Flight, and this one, when this attacks, you can exhaust an opposing troop without flight. It is a 3/2 up in the air, so not bad. Again, that's a common, but again, it's a token. So all in all, I think, you know, that's a pretty good card. You know, 2 casting costs, and it creates something for your next turn. So it doesn't have speed, but you know, so basically for 3, you're getting a total of what, 5, 4. You know, so not bad at all. Not bad card at all there. Inflict Doubt. I'm not sure we've talked about this one in the past at all or not, but anyway, Inflict Doubt, 2 casting costs, single diamond threshold, basic action, uncommon. Play this only if you control more troops than each other champion. Target opposing troop gets, this can attack or block. So it's kind of an inner conflict. I think it's a little bit cheaper too, because inner conflict, I believe, is 3, right? Yeah, so, but again, you have to have, you know, more troops out in the field than the opposing champ. You can't just drop it down at any time. So not bad at all. Not bad. Mist Lord, another diamond card here, 4 casting costs, double diamond threshold there. It's a necrotic rogue, and again, another rare, and it's a 3/3. And but basic ability, you can one-shot it for 1 resource. You can shift for 3 resources. You can void this. It gets, at the end of your turn, if this is in your void, put it into play this turn. So what can you do with this? You can attack with it, and again, you can shift. I'm taking that's a shift an ability or something from another card to another card. So you can attack with it, and then you could shift it. You could shift, then you could void it, and then you could put it in your turn. Then you can put it back into play. I'm guessing it comes back into play readied. So you're gonna do that once, but you know, not bad at all. So it's kind of like a you can regenerate it there for 4, 3, 4, somewhere right around there. Pretty good card. So what we got next? Ozawa's Dance. Ozawa's Dance is I think we've talked about this one because this is the first basic action that you can actually put a socket in, or a gem into it. The socketable basic action or socketable action card. So if you haven't seen this one, we'll talk about it anyway. 6 casting costs, single diamond threshold. It's a basic action, socketable Major. And it says troops in your deck get all socketed powers of this. So that is a pretty good card. I like that one a lot. This one here was revealed on somebody's stream. I don't remember if it was Nero's or Cirrus' stream. This is Auger of Serum. Auger of Serum. 6 casting costs, a double sapphire threshold, is a legendary. It's an Avatar of Insight troop. 4/5 with flight. You can see the top card of your deck. You can play the top card of your deck. I kind of like that. Being able to see the top card, you can play the top card. Now, what it says, you can see the top card of your deck, you can play the top card of your deck. When can you do that? Is that any time? Because if you play the top card of your deck, you're going to be able to see the top card of your deck again, then you can play the top card of your deck. So is it, you can just keep playing as long as you have, enough resources? It doesn't say for free, so I guess you can play them as long as you have enough resources. Maybe that's how that works. Good card, I like it. I'd like to see a card that does that. It's not so expensive. Maybe like a forecasting cost card that does this. It's maybe a little weaker, maybe doesn't have flight, you know, something like that does that has that same effect anyway. Next one here we have the Cerulean High Counselor, 1 casting cost, 1 sapphire threshold. Human Mage troop, and this one is you can exhaust him, put a troop with cost equal to or less than this troop's cost from your hand into play. Put this in your hand, it gets cost +1. I think we've talked about this one before too, I'm just not quite sure. But decent card, you know, not not the best card, but it's definitely good card because you can. What am I trying to say here? You can put a card into your hand, into their hand. So put a troop with cost equal to or less than this troop's cost from your hand into play is what I'm trying to say. Whew, that was a tough one. So the more you do that, the more you can actually get cards out of your hand. So if this guy's 4, you can get a card out of your hand for 4 for free. So basically, if you only have 4 resources, and then you can cast another card for 4, so 8. Pretty decent card. Indigo Dreamwalker. Not sure we've talked about this one yet or not either. Forecasting cost 2 double diamond, or double diamond threshold. It's Kyle the Warlock, a legendary card. It's a 3/4 with flight. He's got prophecy. When this enters play, the next card in your deck gets with cost 1 or greater. You can play it for free. I think we have talked about that one. Eternal Sage. A lot of card text. We've talked about that one a couple weeks ago. We have the Feral Root Acorn. Army of Myth. We talked about these multi-shard cards last week in the Hex Update Saturday there. So that is the cards that I've discovered that I just haven't seen anywhere else, and I finally found them and say, hey, we might as well talk about these. One card on here we didn't talk about, and it is going to be a spoiler, so heads up if you don't want to talk about it right now. You don't want to listen. End the video now. This one here is a Peri. I don't even know how to say this one. Perifagi. I don't know. 5 cost, double blood threshold. The basic action is a common. You can destroy target opposing troop, create 4 spiderling eggs for that troop's controller, and put them in your deck. I'm not sure about this card. Definitely just a fill card. It's not something I would probably, build a deck with or around. I mean, you're destroying an opposing troop, but for 5, there's cheaper ways to do that. Yeah, depending, I guess, what you're destroying. But still, and then you give them 4 spiderling eggs, and we don't want to be doing stuff like that. So this card here, I'm not going to tell you how it gets revealed, but if you do partake in some of the puzzle reveals, check that out. And there's a little bit of a treasure trail you got to follow to get to this guy here. It's pretty cool though, pretty fun to do. I just did that a couple minutes ago. So those are the spoilers for now, and as I come across more, I'll keep making these just to kind of keep everybody up to date on what is going on here. We talked about this one last week. That was one that was revealed with the puzzle pieces being revealed ever so often. So I think that's it. I think we've talked about everything else. So yeah, so that is the spoilers here. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of these, which hopefully there will be, there definitely will be more in the weeks to come. Be sure to click subscribe down below, and if you like the video, like I said, thumbs up. Want to give me a comment about this? Maybe let me know something about shift. I'll take a look at that shift article again to see exactly what that means, but I'm pretty sure it's shifting an ability from one card to the other, but we'll see.